If you look for me, you'll probably find my head in a book or in my dollhouse. So I thought, why not just combine the two? No, not like that. I've already done that. Like this. Hey everyone, welcome back to Friday the 13th AG. My name's Friday, I'm a teen American Girl doll collector, and today I'm going to be reviewing all of the American Girl books that I have read in the past year. I'm not actually sure where I got the idea to start reading the American Girl books. I think I just kind of wanted to be a little more well-versed in their stories, but around the start of summer last year, I decided I was going to read all of the Felicity books because I had most of them, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. I have read, I think at this point, 54 books so far in 2026, which is an insane amount. I do remote school, so I have a lot of time on my hands to read, but a good amount of those books have actually been American Girl books. So today I thought it would be fun to kind of talk about my opinions on all of the American Girl books that I have reread in this past year. We're gonna go in chronological order, so we're starting from Felicity and then we go all the way up to Grace. I did not read them in chronological order. I just kind of read them, whichever ones I felt like, because I do not own all of the American Girl books. I do want to, because one day it would be a dream to just have read all of them, be so incredibly well versed in all of the American Girl lore. Also, I don't know if you can tell, but I am using a microphone today, so I'm crossing my fingers. This is my first time ever using a microphone for YouTube videos, so we're gonna test out the sound quality, and I'm sorry if you hear random little ruffles or if you can hear my breaths more. I'm still working at the kinks. Okay, now let's actually get into the video. First up, we have my girl from 1774, Miss Felicity. This is Cindy. She's my 35th anniversary Felicity doll. I love her so much. So, hot take, but I actually really liked Felicity's story. I do acknowledge the problematic bits, and we're going to talk about that a little bit at the end. But overall, I thoroughly enjoyed Felicity's stories. I have heard some people be like, no, they're boring, I don't like the time period. While the Revolutionary War isn't necessarily my favorite part of history, I'm not a huge Revolutionary War buff, I can recite some Hamilton songs though. I still really enjoyed this, and I thought that while her stories were definitely very much filled with history, they were also just interesting on their own. One thing I noticed a lot with American Girl dolls though is that I get very annoyed with the main character in the books. Felicity's, I only saw that half of the time, maybe not even half of the time, just a little bit of the time. I'd be like, oh my gosh, Felicity, I know you're the main character, but you are not the main character. You know what I mean? She had a little bit of main character syndrome, kind of in the middle books. That's also a pattern I noticed. But overall, I don't think she made me too mad. I really love all of the fashion from this time period. I only have this one Felicity outfit. I only have her meat outfit, and I need half of her collection. Overall, I found myself very much enjoying her stories. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and take a minute to talk about the problematic bits. If you've never read Felicity's books or you're out of the loop, her family does own slaves. I'm not actually sure if there are multiple. I think the only one mentioned in the book is Marcus, but I can't actually remember if there are more than one. Please correct me in the comments. But this is specifically a controversial bit because in the story it is not really acknowledged that Marcus is a slave. But it is very much with all the historical context, you can tell. But I don't know, it feels very ignored. I know it wasn't supposed to be a main plot point in Felicity's book, but at the same time, if you're not going to make it any kind of discussion in the book, why are you even putting it in there? Because even though it was an extremely popular thing at the time, there were still plenty of people, even more upper class people, that did not have enslaved people. Overall, Felicity's books, while controversial and they have some very bad aspects to them, I overall, as a story, really enjoyed them, and if you want to, I highly recommend them, and literally, look how cute she is. I love my Felicity. No matter how much I want one, I do not have a Caroline doll, so we get the mini doll. I was getting tired of sitting up, so you get this setup. I'm sorry, this is not the best video setup. I wanted to do a cute sit-down chatty video, but I was too lazy to do a really good setup, So Caroline's books take place during the War of 1812, which is a time period in history that I feel my history class kind of glossed over. I didn't know too much about it, and so I thought it was actually really interesting to learn a little more from her books. It opens with a banger, little spoiler alert, but in the first book, her dad gets kidnapped, And I thought that, like, that was, like, I knew her dad got kidnapped, but I thought that that was, like, you know, like, fourth book. Like, that's the climax of the thing. No, turns out that's, like, the whole plot of her books, pretty much, is that her dad gets kidnapped. It was entertaining. Like, it honestly shocked me. I was like, oh, so we're doing this right now. I did, however, like, when her dad kind of wasn't there in books, like, 2, 3, and 4, I got a little frustrated with Caroline. Like, I understand, girly was going through trauma, but also, like, specifically in book 3, she just kind of, like, pissed me off with, like, the whole conflict. But yeah, I just remember very much being like, Caroline, I love you, but, like, no. You're not it right now. I think, like, some of the books were really good. Like, I really enjoyed the first one. 5 was amazing. And then, hot take, but I actually really, really loved 6. But then, like, the other ones, I was like, okay, it's good, but, like, you know, they're not my favorite thing. So I think her books were almost kind of like all or nothing, like either it's really good or I'm just like hating on Caroline. So now we have what I think might be my favorite American Girl books that I have read so far, Marie Grace and Cecile. So I don't have any form of dolls for these. I would like a Cecile and I would like a Marie Grace. I technically have a Marie Grace custom, but after reading the books, I would not be opposed to having them and most of their collection. So one thing I really, really loved about their books, specifically Marie Grace, she is so selfless. Because with a lot of the American Girls that we're going to see soon, it was like, I get that you're 10, but also you're being really freaking selfish right now. Whereas Marie Grace has such amazing emotional maturity. There was only like one moment where I was like, okay, Marie Grace, you were like being a little selfish right now. But she did have like a good like resolution to it. But, like, literally as I was reading her first book, I was like, oh my gosh, this doesn't feel right. Is she an American Girl doll? And she was just like genuinely so sweet and caring. Cecile too, I think that like maybe she's not as selfless as Marie Grace and had like a few more moments where I was frustrated with her. She always had redemption and she's overall like very unproblematic, especially compared to some of the other dolls that we're gonna talk about. I thought it was interesting seeing like the dual perspectives. Sometimes it did frustrate me a little bit because it's like, okay, I understand that we're trying to see this scene from like a different perspective, but at the same time, like, I've literally read this exact same quote before. Like, I thought it was, like, at some points it was cool to, like, see the other perspective of the same scene, but at other points I was just like, okay, can we move on to the next thing that's happening? I thought it was really interesting learning about this time period. As somebody that is learning French, I loved all of the French that was mixed into that book. Definitely extra points for that. Yeah, overall, like, honestly, as a book series, like, 10 out of 10. Totally recommend. Okay, I had to throw a sweatshirt on because I got cold. But next we have Rebecca. So I knew, honestly, like, very little of Rebecca's stories. Literally all I knew about her was, like, she was a Jewish immigrant and that she liked acting. I read these last summer and they were, like, really good. There were a couple times where, like, Rebecca pissed me off a little bit. Like, this is coming from a girl who, like, I love my family, but, like, you know, I don't necessarily inherently, like, believe that family deserves respect just because they're blood and stuff like that, but sometimes she was just like unnecessarily rude to her family. Like, there were sometimes where I was like, okay, her family, like, I don't like them, but then other times it was like, okay, they're genuinely trying to help you right now, girl. So there are just sometimes that like kind of left an imprint on me and rubbed me a little the wrong way about Rebecca. But overall, I really liked the whole actor thing. Most of her books like very much like kept me hooked. I think the time period and the history was done very nicely. Overall, I would definitely recommend these. Rebecca is like a decently likable character. I feel like all the times you get frustrated with her, you can just brush it off as like she's a kid. Everybody say hi to Donna. She's my Mary Ellen doll. Mary Ellen's books are actually the ones that gave me the idea for this video because I was reading them last week and I was like, you know, I should make a video about this. So I have the most notes on hers because I was writing them down as I was reading them. And honestly, hot take, but they made me love my Mary Ellen more. I was very familiar as a kid. I watched the Mary Ellen movie, or I guess it's not even a movie, it's like the Amazon special. I watched that a ton, and so that was my impression of Mary Ellen. I do not like Mary Ellen in that. I have a video idea about comparing the books to the movies, so stay tuned for that eventually. But we gotta pull up my video outline for this because I have a lot of notes on Mary Ellen. So if you're unaware, Mary Ellen gets a bit of a bad rep for being like annoying and such an attention-seeking little brat. in her movie, I 100% agree. She does things in her book and her movie about like trying to paint the door red to get attention. But one thing that I don't remember the movie too well. One thing that I think that a lot of people tend to forget, maybe it's just people just genuinely didn't read her books. Everything that she does that's like for attention, she rationalizes with it comes from a different place too. Like with the painting the front door red, she wants their house to stand out. She doesn't want to stand out. She's like, I want our house to stand out for our guests. And like, I don't know, maybe I'm just an attention seeker too, but like, well, no, she shouldn't have done that. But also at the same time, it's like, at least it wasn't like totally selfish as people make her out to be. People are like, Mary Ellen is like literally the devil. All she cares about is herself. But like, any time really that she had like a selfish moment, either she would call herself out on it or somebody else would call her out on it. And then it seemed like she would actually just genuinely feel really bad for being attention seeking. Like she recognized that she's attention seeking, and it seems like she felt some remorse about being attention seeking. Also, I would like to know, I have her first and her second book, but they are the abridged versions. So pretty much they're missing like a third of the book each. So maybe she does something terrible in those two little pieces that I am missing. I'd also like to note that the way that these are written is very much, it feels like they were meant to be a 6-book series. And I say this because Mary Ellen is the first historical, I'm pretty sure, that American Girl released under like the Be Forever line, because the Be Forever line came out in 2014, and that was like, you know, like Caroline was in there, Kit was in there, Samantha was in there, and they all had the Be Forever books. But before that, they had 6-book sets. And then the next year, Mary Ellen comes out, and she just debuts with the Be Forever books. But the way that they are written, it very much, you can tell it's like, this is Meet Mary Ellen. This is Mary Ellen's school story. From the abridged version, they removed Mary Ellen's Christmas story. And then the second book, it's like, yeah, this is literally her birthday story. Then this is literally like she's saving the day, rescuing her dog. And then it's an abridged version, so I don't know what changes for Mary Ellen would be. But you can very much tell, like, you can find the traces of, like, this was maybe, I think in my head, like, I think she was written to be a 6-book series, but then they told the author, like, oh wait, no, actually we're switching up to Be Forever, we'll just put them all together. I really like the way they mixed a lot of the history, like, post-World War II, especially with, like, this whole, like, nuclear family kind of dynamic in there with, like, a lot of kids. And then also just, like, stuff about the Cold War. This could be because I have the abridged edition, and so it's practically missing, like, book number 6. But we never get Davy redemption. Like, somebody, if you have read the full second Mary Ellen book, please tell me that we get Davy redemption, because, like, it ends. Okay, so we love Joan. I, like, didn't expect the whole Joan storyline about, like, not wanting to get married. But, like, she wants to get married, but then, like, she wants to also, like, travel and study. Like, I did not expect that. I think that is honestly so amazing. We love Joan. She is such a girl boss. But yeah, I think that there are American Girl dolls that are way more self-centered and treat people way worse than Mary Ellen does, and that don't feel any remorse for it and don't apologize for it. And we need to, like, collectively as a community give Mary Ellen a little more grace and actually read her books. Now let's quickly talk about the best friend historical books I've read. So starting off, we have Elizabeth's. Honestly, I really enjoyed this. I may have liked this more than Felicity's other books. I don't know, there's something about this story which is really, like, unexpected. Like, her sister, like, little spoiler, but, like, her sister's literally getting married off to a guy that's, like, way older than her. And I think, like, it was just so kind of, like, whoa, I did not expect this, that it was, like, I read it in an evening. It was, like, honestly really, really good. If you ever come across this book, if you're like, oh no, it's Elizabeth, it's just a best friend book, buy it. Other one, this is Nellie's book. I didn't enjoy this one as much as Elizabeth's. I also have not read Samantha's books. Overall, I thought it was an interesting plot. This is another one I read it in a day. I thought it was interesting, but, like, not the most interesting. I think it made me intrigued about Samantha's overall stories. I think maybe I'll have to reread this one after reading Samantha's stories. We got my girl Mia. I kind of really liked her books. I think I read them, like, in the span of 2-ish days. I liked the illustrations a lot, and I think learning about the ice skating and stuff was pretty cool. Mia did frustrate me a couple times because, like, her family dynamics are really interesting, and, like, I totally get the struggle, but, like, also at the same time, like, I don't know, she just gave me, like, a little bit of an off vibe. There's a couple scenes where I'm like, Mia, honey, you also have to respect, like, I know that your parents are favoriting your brothers, but also imagine having, how many brothers does she have? 3 or 4 brothers? Like, imagine having that many teenage boys. Overall, interesting story. Not a whole lot to say about Mia. Alright, let's have a chat. So this is Grace, Girl of the Year 2015. I love her movie. Olivia Rodrigo did amazing. This is Olivia, my Grace doll. I love my Grace doll. She is probably one of, if not my favorite doll right now. And I think Grace is a really good doll. I love her collection, and I love the idea of like getting to go to Paris. However, Grace as a character pisses me off. When I talk about American Girl dolls that are self-centered and spoiled, I'm talking about her. I read this book towards the end of last year, and like there were times I was literally like, I think I was reading it when I was in Hobby Lobby with my mom, and I was like, I am so mad at her right now. So if you don't know, Grace gets to go to Paris, but the way in her book, like in the movie you can kind of see this, but like not as much. In her book, she's like, do I have to go? Like, I'm so sad. I have to go to Paris. Like, I get it's hard to leave your friends, and like that's sad, especially during summer. But like, also, girl, you're going to Paris. As somebody that really, really wants to go to Paris, I was just like, not necessarily, maybe a little jealous, but like offended that I'm like, you literally have this amazing opportunity to go to a place that so many people, including me, dream of going. You literally have the opportunity and you're complaining. Like, I know towards the end she has some redemption. She's like, I'm glad I went to Paris and like all these things, but like for the first like 2 weeks she's there, she's belly aching and like not wanting to have fun. And like, movie comparison here, but like in the movie, Grace is like, I think she's like a little sad that she's not gonna see her friends. Like, I can't remember, I need to rewatch this movie, but like once she gets to Paris, her main struggle is that Sylvie doesn't want to be friends with her, not that she hates being in Paris. Like, Grace in the books just felt so much more pessimistic, and like, I understand it, but also at the same time, be grateful. Girl, there are so many people that can't afford to go to Paris, that maybe can't fly to Paris for medical restrictions, maybe they can't take the time off work, and you are literally being handed a trip to Paris with your mom, and you're complaining. Like, it just frustrated me so much. It very much rubbed me the wrong way. And while I do know that her other 2 books are in America, I don't know if I'm gonna read them just because like she has angered me enough. Alright everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for staying till the end. I am going to have a part 2 of this eventually. I have to, actually read more books. This summer I'm planning to read a lot of the beachy themed ones, so like Nenea, Leah, Joss, Kaylee, I have all of those. As well as probably some other ones. Like, I've been really wanting to read Addie's, Molly's, and I just got Claudia and Melody, so hopefully those girlies will be in the next video too. So be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell. I do have another sit-down chatty video like this coming next week, so if you like this style, hopefully it will be smooth sailing with the microphone. And if you enjoyed this video, leave it a like and comment down below if you have read any of these American Girl books, which was your favorite, and do you have any recommendations of the ones I should read next? Alright, that's it for me this week. I will see you guys next week. I love you all so much, and go read some American Girl books. Mwah! Bye!